Neno hili si hivyo. Mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome back to our channel once again. Panic has gripped ODM Party because James Orengo has finally dropped a major bombshell. James Orengo has revealed his plans of how and when he's going to kick Oburu Odinga as the ODM party leader. And according to James Orengo's plan, it's going to happen on 8th of March. I want you guys to listen to James Orengo, because that statement by Orengo is going to form the basis of this analysis.
On the 7th of March, the last day of the MOU which was signed by the party leader Raila Odinga and President Ruto expires on that particular day, on the 7th of March. And on the 7th of March, we are going to invite all our chairmen, the ones who are here, to come to Nairobi and conduct a review of that MOU to determine whether or not there has been an implementation of that agreement. But as I speak here, I think many of us know that that document remains unfulfilled. But that review will come on the 7th. On the 8th, we are going to have a major rally in Nairobi at Jacaranda grounds as we continue to have rallies all over the country. We're going to come out with a program of the rallies that we're going to hold in all the regions and in all the counties, so that people have information well in advance. Lastly, this is the party called ODM. We want ODM to remain united. We want the identity and integrity of the party to be protected, to not last the 20 years when Raila was alive. We want those who come 100 years later from today to say that our party is still ODM, the biggest party in the Republic of Kenya. I mean, if ODM is in government, there should be a coalition agreement. For Kenya is in government because we have a coalition agreement. We don't have a coalition agreement with UDA or with President Ruto. The people who went to government, they went there individually. And Raila Odinga stated as much. All that Raila wanted to make sure didn't happen was that these individuals should not get lost in the miasma of the ruling party. But some of them, the way they are talking, they are really gone. They even, in fact, betrayed the spirit of the party. So the ODM is not in government. We have been in government before, and this is not how you become part of government.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you listened to James Orengo very closely, there are certain things he's saying in his speech. The first thing James Orengo is saying is that the MOU which Raila Odinga and William Ruto signed is actually coming to an end on the 7th of March. And he's adding that on that particular day, he's going to invite all chairmen of ODM Party from all the counties to Nairobi. And then after inviting them to Nairobi, they are going to conduct a review with this chairman of that MOU to determine whether or not they've been implemented. That's the 10-point agenda. And Orengo is adding himself that according to him, the MOU has not been fulfilled. So he's calling them on 7th. Then the next day, they're going to have a major rally. And on that major rally, and then on the next day, they're going to have a major rally at Jacaranda grounds. That's significant. Ladies and gentlemen, the reaction from Oburu Odinga's camp is also fast and furious. Aladwa has also revealed that they'll be going for the NDC. But during that NDC, elections is not going to be part of the agenda of the new party leader. because that was done and dusted.
Kwa yale yamesomwa yote na yale yamezungumziwa yote tumeyapitisha. Tunangojea mkutano wetu wa NDC ambaye inakuja mwezi ujao tarehe 27, na najua nyinyi kama wanahabari mmekuwa mnauliza hii NDC itakuwa nini? NDC yale tutazungumza, hakuna uchaguzi unafanywa katika NDC wa 2027. Najua wengi wanasema uchaguzi itakuwa watatend NDC itwe. Sasa NDC imeitwa, mambo ya uchaguzi tulimaliza Mombasa na delegates wote walikuwa Mombasa kwa NEC. Baadaye kulikuwa na mkutano wa Central Committee ambaye pia ulifanywa eneo la Pwani, na yale yalipitishwa ndio yale sisi tunafuata. Sisi chama ni kubwa kuliko mtu mwenyewe. Kwa hivyo kama Aladwa ametoka kwa chama, ni yeye Aladwa ama baraza ametoka, si chama imetoka. Na sisi tunasema kwamba pali baba alituacha Raila Odinga, our late party leader, alituacha hapo, ndio sisi tuko kwa broad based, tukiwa na our president William Samoei.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this video I want us to look at what James Orengo is trying to do and whether it can actually succeed. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, there is something I want to tell you about James Orengo. Before Gladys Wanga was appointed as the ODM chairperson, the person who ought to have been appointed after Mbadi was appointed to the cabinet was none other than James Orengo. And the truth is, James Orengo even went further and mobilized all the 47 county chairmen to Nairobi for endorsement. Then at night, there were some discussions which were led by none other than Opiyo Wandayi, who persuaded Raila using Oburu not to allow James Orengo to take over the party as the chairperson. Raila was still alive. This is a true story. And the truth is, Raila ended up now picking Gladys Wanga. And that can explain to you guys why James Orengo has refused up to now to support Oburu Odinga. Because Oburu Odinga and Opiyo Wandayi denied him that chance. Opiyo Wandayi denied Orengo the chance because Opiyo Wandayi, after his appointment, he wanted to use it for the Luo kingpin. He knew that if Orengo was appointed, that was going to cause problems for him, politically speaking. And of course, for those who remember, Wandayi also wanted to become the governor for Siaya. And of course, we all know how it ended. So the statement by Orengo is serious because it means Orengo has the capacity and the ability and even all the contacts of the ODM chairpersons from across the country. And if you listen to that speech by Orengo, Orengo is saying that ODM needs to be united. But he's also saying they need to be united, but it must retain its identity and integrity. And how can ODM retain its identity and integrity? That can only happen, in my view, if there's no UDA part of it. Because according to Orengo and the group, Oburu Odinga's camp are trying to just follow UDA, which they are opposed to. So for me, I'm looking at that declaration by Orengo in the following ways. Number one, on the 8th, they're going to make a major declaration. And I want to make two predictions. And I want to go with the first one. The first prediction is that these guys are likely to announce the new lineup of ODM Party. And I want to assume that Orengo is going to declare himself the party leader. And then Edwin Sifuna is going to be declared the Secretary General of the party. And there's a man there, in the middle there, Babu Owino. I don't know why Babu Owino seems not to be favored. Because in a case where Orengo is the party leader, Babu will not have a space. Sifuna and the group also needs Orengo as their shield. They need that person they look up to as a father. But again, as long as Orengo is the party leader, Babu Owino can also not be a party leader, because Babu Owino also wants to be party leader. I don't know how their lineup is going to look like, but I want to assume they're likely to announce their lineup there. And why are they going to do that? They're going to announce their lineup so that when the ODM NDC will be conducted, and they'll conduct the NDC, follow the due process, then they'll submit the names to the register of political parties, which definitely is going to accept the list by Oburu Odinga. Then for them now, they'll use this because they intend to sustain this onslaught up to July. In July, they're now going to have a better excuse of exiting the ODM party. So that's number one. They're going to make that declaration for two reasons, just like I've explained the first one. They're going to announce their lineup. But I also want to assume that on this ETH, these guys might announce the name of their new movement. It's not going to be a political party per se, but it's going to be a movement. And then they're going to use that movement now to negotiate with the other camp, Rigathi Gachagua and Kalonzo Musyoka's camp. So that's what we should expect about that major announcement. Number two, the fight over the party leadership at the grassroots. Who controls the delegates? Like today, if ODM party were to invite party delegates, I don't want you to respond because you may not be a delegate. I know there are few delegates here. But in your own estimations, who do you think control the delegates? The truth is, most delegates of any political parties are conformist. So I think Oburu Odinga's camp will control the delegates. And since Oburu Odinga's camp will control the delegates, I'm 100% sure that Edwin Sifuna as the SG also has a parallel list. Because I've seen meetings in ODM where, for example, Kisumu County, we have two parallel lists of delegates. So they'll come up with their list. Sifuna will also come with his list. And it's going to be chaotic. Because, ODM party used to thrive under chaos. That's what Raila Odinga loved the most. That we have two lists from Kisumu, each camp claiming to be the officials. So they just manage, but they make party active. So Sifuna, as the SG, can actually create a parallel list of delegates. And that's why that NDC, unless the elections will be like the ones that we always organize here with Kotu, it's going to be fireworks. And lastly, maybe Orengo is doing this to provoke the Oburu Odinga's camp. They just want to provoke them to react. And of course, you've seen their reaction. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, but let me end by asking you a question. Should Oburu Odinga and Edwin Sifuna form their own party? And can you follow them in that party? Until next time, this is Makwiny. And by the way, there's something which has been bothering me here. This is a question which I asked, but I don't know what you guys think sometimes. Yeah? I just asked a honest question, which almost everybody is now asking online, whether Mount Kenya is 1 term or 2 term. But the answers I'm getting from that question is really shocking because most people are turning it into insult. Yeah? Why can't we just debate soberly? Because we can't claim that Mount Kenya is 1 term when every time we go for an election, they're voting for William Ruto's party. I mean, it doesn't make sense. In the last election, we had several by-elections in the mountain where Moses Kuria sponsored a party, a candidate, was it in Georgia, supported by Ruto against Uhuru. Yeah? UDA won. There was another by-election, was it in Gatundu somewhere, after the death of the MP. UDA sponsored a candidate. they won. I'm just looking at the trends. That you can't claim to oppose somebody, but you still give him the credit. I mean, it can't work. So unless online here, we agree that in online, Ruto is one term. But offline, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, this is Makwiny. Bye-bye.